Shortly after the governor of Texas said Texas was reopened for business following the COVID quarantine, I journeyed to the reigning champion barbecue joint in Texas, Snow's Barbecue. Texas Monthly Magazine ranked Snow's Barbecue as the number one barbecue joint in Texas in 2017. Now, Texas Monthly Magazine only puts out those rankings every 4 years. So on my visit, I was at the reigning champion, the number one barbecue spot in Texas. Many lovers of Texas-style barbecue contend the coveted number one ranking by the Texas Monthly Magazine signifies not only the best barbecue in Texas, but the best barbecue in the world. Snow's Barbecue is a case study about the improbable. Texans take their barbecue seriously, very seriously. Connoisseurs of the smoked meats are passionate, and we'll talk a little bit about that more later. Nonetheless, for a barbecue restaurant to be selected by Texas Monthly as one of their top 50, it's not only an honor and an accomplishment, but it also means business. Lots of it. But to be selected as the best, number one, well, that's downright amazing considering the competition in Texas. Now about the improbable. Texas has over 4,000 barbecue places. Snow's Barbecue is located in the small town of Lexington, Texas. Population 1,177. Why would a rational entrepreneur decide to open any restaurant with such a limited customer base? They're only open one day a week, Saturdays. How can any restaurant meet their overhead being open just 4 times a month? Why would you name a barbecue joint in Texas Snow? It rarely snows in Lexington, Texas. Well, they did it to a huge success. First, they hired the best chef. In Texas barbecue lingo, we call them a pit master, Miss Tootsie. She was 68 years old when they started in 2003. Now at age 85, she is still going strong. I can attest to it having seen it with my own eyes. Miss Tootsie is the hardest working member of the team. It's not just an honorary title. She earns it every Saturday morning when she starts her day shortly after midnight. Second, they expanded their customer base beyond their wildest dreams. Snow's Barbecue in Lexington, Texas is now a destination restaurant. People travel long distances to eat there. I drove 2 hours to get there from my home. The group ahead of me in line, they were from Chicago. It was their second visit to the restaurant. There were also many people there that day from foreign countries. I asked the owner, Kerry Bexley, how the place got the name Snow's. Kerry told me that he named it Snow's because that was his nickname. Kerry was born in the month of February when it was very cold outside. When Kerry's mom was pregnant with him, she asked her young son, Kerry's older brother, if he wanted to have a brother or sister. He replied, "I want a snowman." So Kerry was given the nickname Snow even before he was born, and the nickname has stuck. If you want to eat at Snow's, you have to get there early. The doors open at 8 a.m. on Saturday morning. If you want any of their food, you better be in line by 6:30 a.m. at the latest. That's right, there will be a line, a long line. According to the owner, to be assured of getting to eat, you need to be one of the people in the first 200 in line. I arrived at 6 a.m. and I was number 158. There were well over 300 people in line before the doors opened at 8 a.m. The owner was out there telling the folks that if their number was over 200, their chances of getting food that day was sketchy. They all stuck around for their sketchy chance to eat at Snow's. I went to the front of the line and asked the person who was number 3 in line what time he had arrived. He lined up there that morning at 2 a.m. When the doors open at 8 a.m., the line does not move fast. I sat down to eat my food that day at 11:30 a.m. That's right, I had spent 5.5 hours in line for the number one barbecue in Texas. The man who was number 3 in line had a similar wait. His was all done before the doors opened. However, when I got served, they had sold out of all the side dishes, potato salad and coleslaw. They had sold out with customer 144, 14 places ahead of me. They did, however, have a full menu of meats available. So, how was the food, you ask? It was darn good. Was it the best in Texas? That's not for me to decide. I've not been to all the other barbecue joints in Texas. I will say this. I particularly enjoyed the brisket. It was the best I've ever tasted. Was it worth it? I mean, getting up at 3 a.m., driving 2 hours to get in line for 5.5 hours just to eat barbecue? My answer is a resounding yes. I'm glad I did it. It was right for me. Would I recommend it for you? It depends. Ask yourself these 3 questions. Number 1, are you a barbecue aficionado? 2, are you what people may call a foodie? 3, do you like to tailgate at sporting events? If your answers to all 3 of these questions is yes, I highly recommend that you go. My wife and I thoroughly enjoyed the adventure, and that's what it was. It was an adventure. It was not simply going out to eat lunch. While the wait in line was long, it was enjoyable for us too. Everyone is friendly, and there's a lot of barbecue talk going on. And it was a great opportunity to meet people. We spent the morning getting to know numbers 159 and 160 in line, Matt and Nicole. They had moved to Texas a couple years ago from California. Going to Snow's is what Matt wanted to do for his birthday. We made friends that morning in that line. Will Snow's become our regular Saturday dining spot? No way. Adventures are nice, but not too often. One final comment. I enjoyed watching Miss Tootsie and Carrie Bexley do their thing. The line wraps around the barbecue pit area, so it's easy to watch them cook. Watching an artisan perform their craft can be amazing. I also couldn't help but notice the respect and love Carrie and Miss Tootsie shared for each other. They put that same love in their cooking and showed the same respect to their customers. It's no wonder they beat the odds and pulled off the improbable.